4 years ago, the Walt Disney Company and Pixar Animation Studios produced the first ever fully computer-animated feature film. After finishing Toy Story, director John Lasseter joined forces with Andrew Stanton, and together they tackled the formidable challenge of creating a follow-up to that groundbreaking film, which was both a technological triumph and a warm and funny movie that captured the hearts of audiences around the world. The result is A Bug's Life.
Ta-da!
When you get down low and you look at the world as they see it, the leaves are translucent, the grass blades are translucent, flower bells are translucent. It's like they live in a world that's like stained glass windows all around them. And that's the kind of look that we want to, get into this film.
The film follows the adventures of a little inventor ant named Flick.
Oh, right.
Who sets out to save his colony from a greedy gang of grasshoppers who have been extorting food.
It was really an effort to not stand still and just make another Toy Story, but to keep pushing and doing something more ambitious. It takes place outdoors in this very, very organic and much more complex environment. And it turned out to be, an epic challenge in every respect.
The basic building block for computer animation is a three-dimensional computer model for each character. The more flexible the model, the more animators can do with the characters.
In Toy Story, we had two main characters who were quite complicated to build. They were very, very complete and very interesting to work with. Almost all the characters in A Bug's Life are at least at that level, perhaps even more so.
Oh, my dicker!
Before the actual animation begins, actors record the voice parts for the film. Artists then begin to animate the scenes.
Since we don't cast by character the same way they do in conventional animation, some animators will work on 15, 20, 25 characters. Often you'll see animators running around acting out one part, take a little breather, and then act out the other part.
When the animation is finished, the characters and backgrounds go through several more steps. Color, then texture, is added to the plastic-looking surfaces of the computer models. Finally, subtle lighting is added to the picture.
The visual complexity of this film is nothing short of amazing.
I think what John has always strived to do is to create worlds that are real, whether it be in Andy's room in Toy Story or now in A Bug's Life, to actually make you believe this world really exists. You imagine what the world might look like, and my gosh, here it is for you to see.
Having produced the most complicated computer-animated film ever made, the producers of A Bug's Life are hoping audiences won't notice the technology.
We want people leaving the theater going, gosh, I loved this scene, I loved what this character did, and talking about the content. And then secondary, talking about how cool it looked and how unbelievable some effect was.
The subtle lighting, spectacular textures, and amazing special effects in A Bug's Life are light years ahead of what was possible on Toy Story. But one thing that both films have in common is heart.
For the colony and for oppressed ants everywhere!
And that's something that no amount of technology can improve upon. A Bug's Life from Walt Disney Pictures and Pixar Animation Studios.
This is it! This is Ant Island!
Ta-da!
We don't think of these characters as creations. We think of them as fellow employees, as friends.
Really? Really?
Really.
One of the things about this story that makes it classic is that it deals with the idea of the underdog.
I'm never gonna make a difference.
It's a story, about the strong against the meek, and as usual, the meek prevail.
I hate it when someone gives away the ending.
The imagination with which they not only have developed the story, but then how they choose which characters, and then all the voices. It's just really incredible, the people they've chosen.
Don't worry! The colony is in good hands!
I was shocked that when they hired me, and I said, I wondered if perhaps there was some sort of a mistake. Perhaps there had been some mishandling of the tapes and mislabeling.
What did you do?
I realize now that, how some people have animals, they look like certain animals.
Right.
I am definitely an ant.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go spread the word. I'm always acting like the sky is falling.
Look out!
Ah!
Guys, order another round.
Because we're staying here!
I play a character named Hopper, who is the sort of leader of a band of grasshoppers who come to terrorize an ant colony.
It's a bug-eat-bug world out there, Princess. One of those circle of life kind of things.
Everybody, how low can you go? Oh yes, how low can you go? Sing it now, how low can you go?
This was beyond my wildest expectations. It was me and better than me. And more than me because it had more hands than I do.
Say, how many roaches does it take to screw in a light bulb? Can't tell. As soon as the light goes on, they scatter.
Last year, he played the lead in Picnic.
I did a cold reading of The Queen. They come, they eat, they leave. And since I've been a queen for so long, I got it. That's our lot in life.
It's not a lot, but it's our life.
You just watch. He's gonna get the bestest, roughest bugs you've ever seen.
It's really fun.
No, bad grasshopper. Bad grasshopper.
When they come in here, they don't act like adults really much of the time. They act like kids. Like they have fun, they're goofy.
Slow down, you flowers!
Joe Ranft is the most brilliant story man ever to work in animation. He's also very funny.
Yoo-hoo, Mr. Early Bird. How about a nice, tasty worm on a stick?
Well, he started doing the voice of Heimlich as this like Bavarian German mama's boy.
Boysenberry.
And all of a sudden, Joe's scratch track for Heimlich becomes one of the most endearing, and I think probably one of the most enduring characters from the movie.
Stand still, little flowers.
The character looked so neat and had that sort of, you know, jello-y kind of feel to him.
I am a cute little bumblebee. The circus, I love the circus.
I loved it. I mean, when I see it, I just go, oh my gosh.
That was amazing. I have not. How did they do that?
What have these people done? I can't even email. I'm astounded. I can't believe what these people do.
Well, you're a fan. Hi, I'm Rosie. Once you get it at home on video, you watch it so many times because you're noticing all the nuances and all the details and all the layers. I just truly love it. I love it.
It's just adorable.
It's just marvelous. It's an incredible process.
They're gonna love it.
We were in the throes of trying to develop our story and develop the look of the picture. And then we got a call. Remember that?
Yeah, we got a call from Disney and they called up and they said, hey, we are having a big giant studio update.
Oh, right.
And they wanted to...
Yeah, they had satellites.
Shots.
They
wanted film.
Right, Tri-City Uplink, and it was in 1996. It was before we had anything to show. Of course, in this medium, it takes forever.
And they wanted an update.
Yeah, so
they
went...
nothing to show.
Yeah, so we said, okay, no, don't send anybody up. Let's do it the Pixar way.
They wanted to send up a big camera crew.
Right.
And all like that.
To do it the normal way.
Right.
And we said, let's do it the Pixar. You know what? Let's just let Fleabee introduce us.
Yeah, we asked a good friend of ours to host it, right? Fleabee?
Introduce the Fleabee reel.
I think that says it all.
Yeah. Well said, Fleabee. Nice. I think you said it perfectly. Let's see it.
Hello, my name is John Lasseter. You may remember me as the director of Toy Story. Well, we are through with that movie. Our new movie is called Bugs. Now, most people consider bugs to be icky and scary and yucky. Like this. But our new movie Bugs will not be like that at all. No, our bugs will be beautiful and wonderful and colorful to look at, like this. Oh, fly away, my little friend. Be free. Speaking of cute bugs, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Fleabee. Fleabee, come down here, Fleabee. My dear friend Fleabee, how are you this fine morning? Why, certainly, go right ahead and show our esteemed Tri-Studio Satellite Uplink friends around the new production of Bugs.
Hey, Drum, look, it's Fleabee!
Hello, Fleabee!
Goodbye, Fleabee!
Would you like to see some delicious preliminary animation tests? It is my desire to show them to you.
Flick, I'm talking to you, lunkhead. You just cost me $6,000. Where did you learn your trade, you idiot? What you're hired for is to help us, not to screw us up, you peon. If you think that was fascinating and interesting, wait till I show you the amazing world of the story department. On a project such as Bugs, eventually our crew is able to think and act as if they too were insects themselves. We hope you enjoyed your brief tour of Pixar's new movie Bugs. Say goodbye, Fleabee. Fleabee, no! The parking lot is much too busy! Oh, yuck, a bug! Yeah! Yuck. Oh, God! Dang gummit, I hate bugs!
Hi, welcome to the story development section of this deluxe
super genius version.
Yes, of A Bug's Life.
And editing. Oh, that's
right. Lee! He's always hanging around. Lee Unkrich, the supervising editor of A Bug's Life. Well, this section, right, talks about the very beginning stages.
Yeah.
It's all about the story development. When story is absolutely everything, it's the most important thing.
And it can last almost 2.5 years.
Yeah, it goes almost from beginning to end.
It's what we call finding your movie. And it's a very laborious but exciting process.
That's right. And of course, what, Lee? Editing.
Editing.
Editing. And so we take and we edit all this stuff together to make our movie.
So we'll look at all those steps. All right, so this section is the storyboarding process. And this is where, instead of writing with words, we write with drawings, and we put them on little pieces of paper, and it's sort of seeing the movie in comic book form. And we'll do a section of a movie at a time, and we'll pin them all up on boards, and then when we get a certain chunk done, we'll show them to the directors, or they will show them to us. And I don't know, it's kind of a complicated thing to explain.
That was a really good description of it, but how better to describe
something better than that?
Yeah.
Well, we could show it.
Yeah, let's show it.
With storyboards.
With storyboards. Okay. This is the storyboarding process as illustrated by Joe Rampt, our head of story.
Yes. So there's the little cute Mr. Storyboard artist working very diligently and happily in January.
And he has a deadline. He's working hard to do his sequence. Every time he does a drawing, he pins it up on the board. And there he stands back when he gets done with his sequence and he says, did I do it the best way? And storyboarding actually balances like composition, cutting, staging, acting, writing, everything that goes through the storyboard artist's mind as he's doing it.
So he'll try another pass at it a couple more times until he feels he's got it just right.
Just right.
It's perfect.
So he calls in the story department
and
of course the director.
There you can see John Lasser. Looks just like you.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Thanks, Joe.
And then Joe, or whoever's pitching, well, the little storyboard artist in this case, will pitch the sequence, and in the middle of the pitch, John gets an idea.
We all get ideas, and that's one of the great things about storyboarding here at Pixar is that it is a free-for-all once we get in this, and everybody is out coming up with ideas to make the sequence better, to make the film better. And when the pitch session is done, inevitably there is lots of ideas to make the sequence better. The storyboard artist kind of wakes up from it.
Right.
Usually
We're infamous for putting all our notes on little Post-its.
Yeah.
That's why you see all the little yellow squares there. And so we'll all leave all excited about the great new ideas we've got. Boom. And we leave the storyboard artist.
Mr. Storyboard Artist goes back and thinks about it and starts over with all of his notes that he has to do. Joe Ranft often calls it the storyboarding process, not storyboarding, but story reboarding, because we work on it, redo it to make each sequence, to make the entire film as best as we possibly can be. In the next section, you're going to see Joe Ranft, our head of story on A Bug's Life, pitching to co-director Andrew Stanton.
Me.
And I think Bob's in there too.
I think Bob Peterson, one of our story guys.
He's pitching the circus sequence from A Bug's Life. Enjoy.
Okay, so Slim and Francis are hit by the spotlight. They're not too excited. And Slim says, tra-la-la-la-la, spring is in the air and I'm a flower with nothing interesting to say. And then they go, ah, look, a bee. And then Heimlich comes running forward. I am a cute little bumblebee. Here I come. I want to catch up with your flowers.
Oh, I got it. What if it's like he just can't catch up? He's like, it's just, he's so heavy, it's just hard for him to like catch up to Slim.
Slow
and
down,
Francis.
slow down.
Yeah. Right.
So he's like, you flowers, slow down. I'm trying to catch up with you. Oh, yeah, right. That would be great. Your flowers are too fast. You're running too fast. Slow down, you guys.
That's great.
Okay, that'd be good. Okay, so then he's chasing after him, and Heimlich runs by the stands, and there's this little kid eating candy corn, and he stops, and he goes, turns around, and goes, oh, candy corn here! You have to let me eat it! Oh, and his stomach is rumbling, and...
Yeah, and he go, let me help you. Let me help you to finish it.
Oh, so...
Right. Oh, wait a minute, is a candy corn funny?
We're thinking of red vines.
Would red vines be funny? No, that's a little bit tough for a fly to hold.
There's those little sombrero jujubes. Those are kind of funny.
The question is, what would a fly like as far as candy goes?
Well, dots, but we already have a character.
Candy corn's pretty funny though, because it's really like it's a big triangle. I think that's actually.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think we should go with candy corn. It's like, is it too Halloween?
Nah.
No. Okay. So he goes, oh, candy corn here. Let me help you to finish it.
That's great. That's great.
Tra-la-la-la-la, spring's in the air, and I'm a flower with nothing interesting to say. A bee!
I am a cute little bumblebee! Here I come! Slow down, you flowers! Oh, candy corn! Here, let me help you to finish it!
Hi, my name's Bill Reeves, and on A Bug's Life I was the supervising technical director, which means I lead up the technical team of 50 to 60 people who worked on the film. What you're going to see is some early production tests we did as part of making the film. This test is called the Leaf Bridge test. This was one where we tried to work in the lighting of the whole environment that we were creating. Because remember, everything in this world is created from inside the computer. We knew how to do the characters, or we had worked on characters before. But this whole environment of miniature photography with nature and all its detail and complexities we hadn't worked on before. So we really wanted to work on the test dealing with the vegetation, the movement of the set, working out all the details, working out new lighting schemes for rim lighting. There was a lot of going on here that we really tried to work out and try to create a little piece of animation that would show what the whole film would look like when it was done. This is the set of wind tests that we did. You know, one of the things that the directors really wanted was to create this atmosphere that the world is alive. Not only the characters, but the whole world is alive. And one of the most important things was to create wind in the vegetation, in the grasses, in the clovers, in all the different parts of the world. And so we had to do these tests to try to figure out, well, how to do this. Because in animation, you don't want to have to hand animate each blade of grass one by one to create the effect. So we actually created programs that would animate the vegetation. And so these were our tests to figure out how to do that. This set of tests is an example of some of the crowd tests that we did. Here the problem was we had a cast of thousands. Again, we couldn't animate each of these characters one by one because it would take forever to do. So we had to come up with a system and a way of working that we could animate small pieces of animation and propagate that animation to the crowd. This is what we call the glowing mushroom test. It was really a lighting test to see how we could take this underground environment, the ant caverns where they lived, and light it, because there was no natural light underground like that. And so we came up with this idea that, oh, there would be mushrooms in there. They would sort of glow in the dark and create light for the scenes that we're going to take there. So we just did this still. There's no animation in it, but we just lit this scene to try to figure out what that might look like.
I'm Eben Osby. I'm the modeling lead on A Bug's Life. Here are some early character tests that show the characters being put through some of their paces so we could see how they would work in the film. This is an early test of the character that was going to become Hopper in the film. It's an early model. The head isn't the same, the legs are different, the proportions are quite different, but we were testing to see what it would look like to have 2 legs and 4 arms, and to see what a character like that would look like walking. So it's an early walk cycle. This is an early dialogue test with Hopper, after we'd built Hopper, but I believe before we had actually gotten Kevin Spacey to be the character voice. It's actually pretty far along because the animation is very much like some animation that showed up in the film. Here is Rosie, and here we were working on trying to figure out how to get all those legs to animate at once and to figure out what that funny little thing on the top of her head would look like in motion. She's a funny character because she's not standing erect like a normal human would. Here is Dim walking. He has a big funny lumbering gait and had to have a particular character to him. Also, we had real problems getting everything to fit in him because he's low to the ground and the feet tend to want to step on each other when he moves. So the animators worked a lot trying to figure out how to make a walk cycle where he wouldn't step on his own feet. There's also some tests of him opening his wings. They had to fold in a certain way to fit inside the shell. And when they started moving, we had to worry about what blurry wings look like when a character flies. In fact, that was one of the big challenges in the whole film, was getting the motion blurred wings to look right shot after shot, because when you look at a wing from one angle when it's moving, it looks quite different from when you look at it from another angle. Here's Gypsy walking around. One of the main things with Gypsy that we had to do was put a ruff around her neck that's a furry collar and make her wings intersected in a way that looked like they were deforming the fur on the collar. When she flapped her wings, it had to look blurry, but you also had to be able to see the interesting pattern, the beautiful patterns on her wings. This is a facial test of P.T. Flea. The facial test is when we were trying out the facial controls and making sure that all the smile and grimace and mustache and eye controls worked well together.
Flaming death! You idiot! You're a clown!
For the international release of A Bug's Life, we put together this special little bit of animation for the publicity all around the world. What we did is we animated 4 of the characters from A Bug's Life as though they were being interviewed by some personality from a foreign TV station.
Mm-hmm.
And so they acted like it was like a satellite uplink. And so it's kind of behind the scenes on the set of the making of A Bug's Life.
That's right. Here it is.
Today we're very fortunate to be connected via live video remote to the set of A Bug's Life. First, I'd like to thank the cast members for giving us a little of their time.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
My name is Jeff Curdy. Perhaps you could all introduce yourselves.
Why, certainly. My name is Flick, and I guess you could say I'm the hero of the picture. Well, it's more of a supporting role, really.
I'm Hopper. I play the leader of the Grasshoppers in a role that, quite frankly, is central to the entire plot. I doubt the rest of the panel have anything to add.
A Bug's Life continues a Hollywood tradition of insect stars who have been featured in many prominent roles.
Yes, that's true. I've had memorable roles in many classic films.
Actually, they were all B-movies.
B-movies? Oh, that's hilarious! Oh, for me? Wunderbar!
So, Heimlich, tell me more about your role in A Bug's Life.
They've been playing clowns in the flea circus.
Hey, watch it. You mind?
Sorry, Francis.
Pardon me, miss?
Miss?
I'm sorry. I just assumed that because you're a lady.
You assumed what? Just because I look like this, that automatically makes me a girl? Is that it? Huh?
Excuse me, if I may.
Yes, Flick.
I would just like to point out that A Bug's Life is really a big adventure with a lot of very, very talented bugs. We like to call it an epic of miniature proportions, and...
That's pretty good. Well, I certainly appreciate your time. Ladies and gentle bugs, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Ladies! But wait, I haven't finished
That's showbiz, kid.
Marker.
Flick, after much deliberation.
One of the most talked about surprises in A Bug's Life was the inclusion of bug bloopers during the end credits. These outtakes were so popular that the filmmakers included a second set just 3 weeks after the film's release. Now, both sets of bloopers appear on the A Bug's Life home video.
John and Andrew, the two directors of A Bug's Life, thought it would be incredibly funny to have animated characters screwing up their lines and bumping into the set and having the microphones dip into the frame.
We thought, oh, wouldn't it be funny to take our characters and animate them as though the whole thing was shot like a live-action film, and they had flubs and messed up and stuff in the outtakes, and it would just mess with people's minds that much more as to how we did this.
I don't think I'm coming across. Oh, I know. I could lather up a bunch of spit. Oh, that's good. I got it, JL. All right, one more for me.
And it was so much fun doing it. And the voice actors, they came up with the most amazing ideas. We at each of the last recording sessions with each of our actors, we brought this idea up. And they loved it, and they ad-libbed and added so much funny stuff.
One of the ones that I think is really funny is when P.T. Flea is doing, in 15 seconds, and he's so excited in that whole circus sequence, and he bumps into the camera and then falls backwards. What I find funny is he leaves a little shmush on the lens. Not only is it an outtake that didn't happen, there's no lens. There's no camera.
Speed. Marker. Action.
Spinning a web of safety in less than 50...
That to me is humor inside humor. That's funny.
And action. To infinity and beyond!
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. Really, can you blame me? Okay, let's go for real now.
Okay,
all right, sorry.
I think my favorite blooper is when Woody comes out holding the clapboard.
Let me try it again.
Okay, tail slayed it.
Heimek is coming down, and they're first arriving in Ant Island, and he's being lowered down under Dim. Rob Russ, the animator, did this great lip smush into the camera that I think is pretty funny.
My favorite, I think, was Molt knocking over the camera, and that's because that came out of a real ad-lib. The animator surprised us with that one morning in dailies. He had the shot looping the right way a few times, and then just suddenly he knocks the camera over and everybody was on the floor.
My idea.
Hey, watch it! I'm sorry. Is the camera broke? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I ruin the take? I really like the one with where Ada's cracking up at Hopper, because Julia Louis-Dreyfus, her acting, it just sounds like it's so real. It sounds like a real crack up. And her laugh is very infectious too.
Are you saying I'm stupid?
Yes!
This is the 15th take. I cannot work like this. I will be in my trailer.
I need a break.
They're just such a fun touch to the movie.
And action.
Pretend that that's a seed.
Don't smile at it again.
It's a rock.
Sorry, I keep forgetting.
It's the time of your life, so live it well. It's the time of your life, so live it well.
Hello? From the creators of Toy Story.
To infinity and beyond!
Comes an all-new motion picture event. Walt Disney Pictures presents a Pixar Animation Studios film.
No! Harry, no! Don't look at the light!
I can't help it. It's so beautiful. Out here in the field, I found for my meal.
Let me tell you how things are supposed to work. The ants pick the food. The grasshoppers eat the food. It's a bug-eat-bug world out there. Someone could get hurt.
He's quite the motivational speaker, isn't he? Let's ride!
It's the same year after year. They come, they eat, they leave. That's our lot in life. It's not a lot, but it's our life.
I've got an idea. We can find bigger bugs to come here and fight.
Now, why didn't I think of that? Oh, because it's suicide.
What they needed was some help.
You're perfect!
What they got
Popcorn, stale popcorn!
was a bunch of clowns.
We're losing the audience! Get out there now!
They'll only laugh at me.
That's because you're a clown!
You parasite.
Circus bugs! I thought you were warriors.
Hey, cutie! Wanna pollinate with a real bug?
So, being a ladybug automatically makes me a girl. Cripes, she's a guy!
Come on, Francis. You're making the maggots cry.
Walt Disney Pictures presents
I'm desperate! I couldn't
a
tell.
Pixar Animation Studios film.
This was not supposed to happen.
Squish them.
Run for your lives!
An epic
I think I'm going to vent myself.
Okay.
of miniature proportions.
We don't serve grasshoppers. For the colony and for oppressed bugs everywhere.
Hello there, girly bug.
Shoo fly, don't bother me.
A Bug's Life. Coming to theaters this Thanksgiving.
Hey, turn your butt off.